Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. So, we are working on building up our steel supplies. We've just activated an interest in Japan. Let's see what Japan will be willing to, 51.7 infamy. Britain would probably step in to stop us, though, and I don't want to do that. That's a shame, but we could make it happen. We have the technology. Oh, Dainam's already a British protectorate. Gosh. What about Siam? Protectorate over Siam, China will almost certainly step in. A bunch of other countries I'm not worried about. Could be worth. Oh, and I forgot to reduce Zulu's subject payments. This is something I almost always do. It's hardly ever worth it. Just to be draining money out of a much smaller economy. Oh! We're in the top 3 furniture producers. Heck yes. Let's try and support that by continuing to expand. Our election results. Far left mostly won it. We're now in an unacceptable government. But we could be mostly okay if we did this. Although, I don't know. I kind of want to hold on to where we are with this so that I can just finish that out first. I got 6 months to do this. So if I can catch it during the next go-around, I can still swap over the government. So here's our man, Carcano. He seems very good. He's a good person to have in charge. I was talking about furniture, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let's get sugar plantations on rail transport. No, you'll be more efficient. Stop it. Quit your griping. Furniture manufactories. So, where have we got profitable furniture manufactories? Piedmont. Very profitable in Emilia and Tuscany. And we'll throw a couple in Sardinia as well. It's nice 8 levels of furniture manufactories. Nothing too buck wild with that. Let's take a quick look at our population situation. We still have quite a high peasant population. So that's fine. I don't necessarily need to start implementing labor-saving measures. Piedmont's got a large peasant population. Most of Italy, it seems, still does. Standard of living's a little low in Tuscany. Ditto in Campania. Oh, that's primarily because of unemployment. Wow, there's a lot of unemployment in some of these areas. Okay, curious. Why are these textile mills having a hard time? Well, let's take a look at the mechanized looms possibility. So, if we hit that, yeah, that is going to make them a lot more effective. What about water, more efficient? Water tube boiler for furniture manufactories? A little bit. Naturally, that raises the price of tools, actually, significantly. Oh my goodness, we got a lot of tools. A lot of tool demand needed. I didn't even realize. Alright. Let me see. Are some of these areas where we can produce tooling workshops? We already kind of do. So yeah, so let's expand these. And Apulia, we also had a little bit of a standard of living crunch, so let's increase the size of the tooling industry there as well. Not enough healthcare, an advance event. Due to a shortage of public healthcare services, citizens around the nation who cannot afford their own medical care have begun demanding more accessible and available healthcare. Have you not spent a day harvesting crops or mining stone? I thought not. It's hard and backbreaking work, and occasionally accidents happen. We want assurances that if we're injured, we can be taken care of. We have families to support. If we're badly hurt and can't recover, how can we take care of them? Free up some extra bureaucracy, extra enactment success chance, extra bureaucracy. Or focus on passing the law, 20% success chance instead of 10. I don't need the extra bureaucracy. I'm going to have plenty more of that. So we'll get the advanced chance. That's very good. That puts us at 67% success chance and 11% advanced chance, and the remainder is stall chance. So at this point, I'm feeling very confident in my ability to pass public health care. So we're just going to have to wait until that's done, and then we'll bring the far left back into the government, and that will all be fine. So, economic growth has continued. We're very solid there. I was going to look at coal, and I did not. We're bringing in a ton of hardwood. That's wild. Is wood cheap? It often is. Yes, wood is very cheap. Let's put an export subvention in wood. For hardwood... Where's hardwood? Right, because of Russia. Alright. Because we made that agreement with Russia. Interesting. So that's... I don't think I realized that was for everyone. Still, I like this defensive pact. It's a good defensive pact. And I can produce more hardwood, so that's not necessarily an issue. If I could find my freaking forestry industry. Here we go. Would be at least marginally more. Hey, je ne colle. Wonderful. Okay, that should probably be enough. Then we'll close this and get our naval bases on je ne colle. And that will be wonderful. And then we've finally started self-propelled torpedoes. That's excellent. So, we're close on public health care. Here's hoping we get there quick. Because I want to have legitimacy in my government. Alright, so when we finish self-propelled torpedoes... Nice, there's repeaters. I'm going to swap over the arms industry before I forget to do that. Because I've been known to do that. I want to own the arms industry. I want to own the whole arms industry. Let's not goof around with all that stuff. What was I doing? I was looking at tech. That's right. So we could clear out a couple things. We could clear out the rest of Tier 2 and Tier 3 in tech, and the snag trench works. That would be very effective overall. But I think it's more effective to rush the rest of Tier 3 in production. I could snag nationalism for some pan-nationalism for some extra authority. In fact, I'm going to do that because my authority seems to be experiencing a little bit of a shortage. After that... Actually, after that, I need to grab human rights to feminism. I think that's just reasonable. That'll get us compulsory primary school, which will be nice. And after that, we'll circle back to the Tier 3s. I want to improve fertilizers, reinforced concrete, electricity, vacuum canning, vulcanization, shift work, and all the other good stuff. And that's everything. And after that, we'll reassess. That should be plenty of time. Come on, give me public health insurance. Delicious water. I can't believe I didn't get involved in this war. I'm in Europe and everything. Gosh darn it, bureaucratic imbroglio. Lawmakers working towards the enactment of public health insurance have found themselves mired in a particularly complex set of bureaucratic proceedings, grinding the work towards reform to a near halt. The fully developed bureaucratic apparatus compares to other organizations exactly as does the machine with the non-mechanical modes of production. That is to say, the teeth of its individual gears meet in a chord, or its gears will gnash and churn until it eventually breaks. Damn this labyrinthine legal system. Increase enactment time, reduce enactment chance, or cut through at least some of the red tape. Another bureaucracy penalty. Bureaucrats in Lazio radicalized, increase enactment time. I'm going to do the second one. Still got a really rock-solid enactment chance here. Just don't want to let it get chipped away. Obviously, that puts us a little short of bureaucracy once again. But let's build up a little more of that, because I want to increase the size of my healthcare system. These should get built pretty quickly. So what else is needed in our market? We definitely need more engines. Where are we manufacturing engines, primarily? Piedmont, Abruzzo, Campania. We'll do a pretty large engine expansion because we're actually engines are pretty overpriced and we're starting to import some. I'm not going to export subvene them for now. I'll export subvene them. Now, paper we're doing okay on. Again, we're importing ironclads, which I don't love. But it is what it is. Explosives were okay. Obviously, silk we're selling quite a bit of on the international market. How much are we spending on export subventions right now? Quite a bit, but for what? Predominantly luxury goods and porcelain and wood. Okay. It's pretty alright. Iron is going okay. Yeah, our market's looking rock solid. So, what does the world market want to buy more of? World market primarily wants to buy more artillery. And ammunition. Well, no, that's just because there's a giant war on. Clothes, though. Clothes are a high seller. Well, let's look at comparative market price. It's really glass, which is interesting. Glass, meat, coal. I can produce more coal. That should be productive. Let's take a look at... Coal's pretty cheap in our market. We can't subvene it, though, because we agreed with Russia that we would not. That's okay. If we overproduce, we can sell it to the world market, and that'll be just fine. Alright. Once the government sector is finished, let's get our healthcare increasing. I could increase policing and home affairs, but my government's already pretty heavy. All things considered, so we'll worry about that other stuff at a later point. We've got Orania up to Midland relations. France is still allowing us to improve relations. Come on, public health care. Hey, excellent. And that's freed up a lot of bureaucracies. This is going to cost us about 600 bureaucracy. We can... yeah, let's increase the other stuff. We're a modern nation, and we deserve a modern law enforcement system. Alright, and now, finally, we can make ourselves a government that's legitimate. Perfect. And we've got an agitator, Leopoldo Mambretti, for the liberal movement. He's a radical. I don't know that you've got anything you're really interested in changing about this country, sir. They want elected bureaucrats. Well, they'll have to live without it, I suppose. Must not reduce government wages. God, actually, what I should really be doing is reducing the size of the government, but I just... because I got extra bureaucracy, but I want to use it to have better institutions. Japanese talent. We see an opportunity to call in the obligation of the Empire of Japan owes us by requesting the service of one of their commanders, Toshiyoshi Shirakawa. He is a 74-year-old Shinto monk's theocrat. Anyway, flavor text. Not everyone is afforded the opportunities they deserve in their home country. We are an ambitious nation, one that will make better use of skills than they ever could. Options are just what our military needs. If they agree, he joins the country. Or, the obligation is worth more than the skills of one man. We won't offer it. I don't necessarily need a new admiral, least of all one who is almost, probably will die in a few years. So, I'm going to say the obligation is worth more than the skills of one man, and that will simply be what it is. Let's take a look at the world market again and see what else we can sell. Ah, here we go. Cause without a rebel. Though Leopoldo Mambretti is still fighting for his cause, no one is following him anymore. Despondent, Mambretti has started publicly remarking that he may give up on his activism altogether. What's the point? Speakers only have any speak to empty halls and in empty chairs. There's no crowds, no banners. If anyone pays attention at all, they never understand anything we're preaching. What reason is there to stay here? We're all stuck doing nothing. Perhaps you can find greener pastures elsewhere. He's exiled. Or no time for timidity. The movement needs drastic changes. 33% chance each of the movement getting stronger, weaker, or more active. I'm going to say he can go. That's fine with me. So, I can produce more meat. And put in subventions. But it's very hard to get meat production, what's the word? Profitable. So I think I'm going to leave that be. There is good, solid demand for lead on the open market. Not that much, though. In fact, if I go to our market, I could probably subvene my way into capturing what demand there is without any trouble. So I can't. We're short on lead. Hold on. I can deal with that, no problem. Let me see. Savoy, 3 levels. Sardinia, 2 levels. Lombardy, 1 level. Bam. A profitable lead industry. Am I? Okay, Transvaal is now going down in Liberty Desire. Orania is going up in Liberty Desire, but... There, now I can start funding lobbies. Spending a fortune on these lobbies. The Despot of St. Petersburg. Opposed to the arbitrary and illiberal rule of the Tsar of Russia, the rural folk have fallen in with the Anti-Russian Association. To all those who cherish liberty, Russia under the boot of that pernicious Tsar stands out as an example of the very worst excesses of despotism. And no country is the indomitable right of every soul to strive toward its own destiny obstructed as it is in Russia. And in no country is a greater threat found to our own liberty than in Russia. Russia must fall, for if she does not, we will fall in her place. Down with tyrants, down with Russia. Rural folk joins the Anti-Russian Association, or sometimes a firm hand is needed to govern well. Anti-Russian Association is not too happy. I'll let them join. I don't want to piss them off too much. I was thinking about going after Siam. I still think that's potentially a good call. Well, there's a lot more countries that could step in, but still only China really interested in doing so. Do I think I could take China in a fight? 378 armies, battalions. Yes, alright, let's see what the composition are. Yes. Line and skirmish, lancer and hussar. Infantry and cavalry, irregular. Infantry and cavalry, 1 artillery. These are skirmish. Okay, so they've got an army. I would need to be careful, but I can probably achieve what I want to achieve if they step in. Might be a matter of moving fast, but I can naval invade with my main army. Ooh, and I should be able to upgrade... I can't upgrade. Why can't I go to torpedo boats? Oh, because I haven't invented self-propelled torpedoes yet. Oh, I'm so smart and cool. How's the investment pool? Investment pool is still not growing the way I should like. I really want to go after them. I'm going to hope I can make this happen. I'm going to wait a little... No, you know, I'm just building mines. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's nail Siam. Again, only China really potential to step in that I am concerned about. They don't have any, like, trade agreements or anything like that. So let's do it. Let's make of them a protectorate. This will be 16.2 infamy, but I've got 5. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Alright. I could bring in Britain. I'm not necessarily going to. Do I add a war goal? I could steal some of these subjects, but I'll steal them later. So what do I mobilize here? I think I mobilize my main army. And we'll station them in Gaza. And then we'll move our fleet over here. I'm not going to mobilize my other 2 armies yet, because I don't need them yet. I won't need them until I complete my naval invasion. With that having been said, I should increase the size of my navy by just a little bit to make sure I'm not unable to support the naval invasion effectively. Because I would certainly like to be able to support my naval invasion effectively. I wish I had somewhere over here to stage from, but I don't. That is what it is, and I'm not worried about it. Delicious water. Now, if China doesn't step in, I think this will be genuinely really straightforward. And it seems like they don't wish to, which bodes well for me. If I can get this without firing a shot, I would be delighted. We're still within the top 3 for furniture production, which I'm feeling pretty pleased about. We're starting to export steel, which is nice. A little short of liquor in our market, which almost never happens. Producing a lot of delightful Como silk. Hey, we completed the Urbanize Italy event. Winds of change. Campania has come a long way since our attention was first brought to it, going from small houses and scattered farmlands to being on its way to becoming a blooming metropolis. The woman sighs. Her hands stop crocheting for a second. When I was younger, all of this was farmland. Us kids would just play freely in the fields, not having to worry about getting hit by a cart or those criminals coming to get us. And we still had time to work. Well, Grandma, now people will have even more places to work at. Finally, Campania shines as never before. 25% extra loyalists for political movements in Campania. Or this is not the end. Extra urban center throughput. I never get anything out of urban center throughput. Campania shines, blah, 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 blah. It seems like China has declined to get involved, so I'm feeling very confident about my plan to make this war happen. Let's take a quick look at what our enemies are fielding. Looks like entirely irregular infantry. Same deal with the Second Siamese Army, and pretty much the same deal with all these other armies. So, I'm feeling like this war is going to be real straightforward. Wonderful. Well, this will be lovely and delightful, and everyone will be pleased, and nobody will be big mad. So, let's get our naval invasion going. I'm going to invade over here. And I don't think I even actually need to mobilize my other 2 forces. I think I can do all of this with just my 1 army. Although, I'm going to mobilize them to make sure that I don't wind up with any chicanery in my fronts. That's actually the real issue here. Is that if I wind up with like multiple fronts against different countries or something, I don't want to get myself into a situation where I can't... I should have waited until they landed, but that's alright. I'm going to be in a better stead financially once I finish with these mines, and then I'm letting the private sector handle construction for the time being. Private sector's construction still really hasn't caught up with the government. I'm not sure what to make of that. Because our economy has been growing at a good clip this whole time, but I haven't been able to be doing it. I've been mostly developing heavy industry this episode and the last, and that's been pretty alright. Alright, so we've got our naval... That's right, we've got our naval front now, but I can't send units to it. They can send units to it, but I can't, because I'm invading with this fleet, and that's the limit on the number of lads I can bring in. Still, force comparison here is rock solid, so I'm not worried. I feel confident in my ability to do this. Institutions are still growing at a good clip. And getting healthcare up there is really important because we want to keep our population growing. Hopefully I can do labor stuff. We are definitely winning the battle. We are winning the battle, and it's not close. Enemy is in panic retreat in the first battle. That bodes well. And we are at 50% landing progress, which is wonderful. Second battle is likely a success. Come on, give me my landing state. Beautiful. And now, time to bring in these other two armies so that we don't wind up in a front kerfuffle. A kerfuffle of fronts. My favorite George R.R. Martin novel. Sure would be nice if I could go to National Militia. Alright, we got one more army coming in here, but I don't think that's really going to impact anything from the enemy's perspective, particularly with us having 2 additional armies on their way in. Only about half of our construction sector is being used at present, so that's going to kind of goof up prices, but, you know, it is what it is. Literacy's not really rising as much as I would like, although I will be able to go to compulsory primary school eventually, theoretically. We are in the black, although we're spending a lot of interests. What are we paying in... we're funding lobbies. Well, we'll be getting more from Siam eventually. We're going to get a hold of all of their subjects as well, so that should be fine. That should be just fine. And we got units coming in here. We're doing great. This is going to be great. Hey, we unlocked the steam donkey. Excellent. Let's get using that with our mines. Less profitable, huh? Well, the iron mines are more profitable. Lead mines... no, they're worse. Sulfur mines... they're worse too. Gosh darn it. Curious. Quite curious. Alright, perfect. We're going forward. Gaza's in default. That's not even on my radar as a thing that matters. We are near Bangkok, which means we are close to being able to remove their war support protection. Home affairs and law enforcement are up to level 4. Healthcare is closing in on level 4 as well, which is wonderful. And we've just about got enough bureaucracy to make it happen, I think. Does trade take bureaucracy still? It doesn't seem like it does. Harvest conditions started, okay. Alright, we got a hold of Bangkok, and now we just need to move forward. We'll probably take over the rest of these countries. Except for Cambodia. Cambodia is under Dainam. We'll see what comes of that. Got a lot of small battles kicking off here, but we do appear to be winning most of them in all ways that matter. So, that will be delightful. Now, how's our relationship with Switzerland? It's doing alright. They're still defiant, which I don't love. For some of these countries that are a little bit feeling better, I think I'm going to... This feels so pointless to increase their subject payments. But I think it's worth it. Hey, there's self-propelled torpedoes. I think it's worth it, because I'm never going to be out of this frickin' debt hole if I don't. And I really need to not be in a debt hole. Because debt holes are real bad. Exile from Persia, interesting. And at this point, we've got a hold of most of... Ah, okay, here we go. So we can effectively seal the deal. And that gets us Siam. Wonderful. And our armies are exiled, but we're at peace, so it doesn't matter. Come on, let our cash flow be better. Alright, cash flow is a little better. I am going to keep not building stuff right now because I gotta chip away at this interest. This interest is really, really rough. Investment pool is building a small number of things, and we'll just have to rely on them for now to get it done. With that having been said, let's improve relations with Siam so that eventually we can get them working again. We're short on convoys, which is interesting. I've never been short on convoys before, and let's hope that it resets between episodes, because that's really my best hope for that. I'm bringing it up because it is time for us to be done with this episode. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.